Hi, okay, time to learn Blender, and let's build an easy, cartoonish, photorealistic car. Okay, so we start out by selecting this cube by pressing left click on it and press delete. And then we want to add the shape that most resembles a cartoon car, and I think this is the cylinder. So if you press Shift+A, and when you work in Blender, it's easiest if you learn all the short commands. It will seem hard from the beginning, but it will be really helpful later on. So let's press Shift+A and take mesh and go to cylinder, and let's expand this box down here and change the vertices to 20, and then let's rotate this to around X. You can see the axis is here, so I want to rotate this around X, so let's press 90 here. Great. And I want this to be a bit longer like this. Great. And now I want to edit this, so let's press tab. And to start out with, I actually want to mirror this, so if all things I do on this side, I want to happen to this side. So do this, let's look upon it from the front. So let's press here, -Y, and then let's select all of the half here. Just press left mouse button and drag and select all of these, and then you can press X and delete vertices. But it looks like nothing happened, but it's not true, because if we look up from the top, something did happen, but this is not the result we want. So let's redo this. So ctrl+z, look up from the front again, and start up by pressing Alt+z. That will enter X-ray mode, and now you can select all the vertices that you before couldn't see or touch, and you can see now you can see through the cylinder. So let's look from the front again and press X, delete the vertices. Great. And I want to delete these as well, so press X and delete these vertices. Great, something like that. So let's exit X-ray mode, so Alt+z, and now we need to add some modifiers, and we can leave edit mode as well. So press tab and back to object mode. You can see here what mode you are in. So now we have some kind of half of a body. So we go down to this modifier properties, the wrench, press it, and we want to add a modifier. We start out by adding a mirror, like that. Great. And if we now press N, we can see that this body is actually rotated, and we don't want that. So we can just zero out this information by pressing ctrl+A and apply all transformation, and now it's gone. This is important if you start to animate or later on. So it's a good habit to apply the transformation. So let's close that again by pressing N, and it's gone. Okay, right now this seems a little bit boxy. It's not smooth at all. So if we right click and choose shade smooth, it's much smoother, but you can see on the side that there is still some kind of hard edges, and we don't want that. So this time we want to add another modifier that's called Subdivision surfaces, and we can change this to 2, and now we can see it's really smooth, but the shape have also been altered, that because what this do is that it actually try to smooth out everything. So this corner is now smoothed out, and we don't want that. To start out with, I want to add an bottom of the car. So let's select these two and press E to extrude, and then X to move them in X axis. But as you can see, they're just moving through each other, and we don't want that. So ctrl+Z, and we want to activate clipping on the mirror. And let's try it again. So E to extrude, and press X to only move in the X axis, like that. Great. So we have a bottom for our car. So now I want to add some kind of grill for the car. So let's look upon the car from the side. So let's press X and then enter X-ray mode. So Alt+z, select all of these, and I want to drag out by pressing E to extrude, but then I only want to extrude in the side. So let's press S, and as you can see, it have now scaled out like this, and this is what I want. And now we can press E and Y like this, and then E and S, so down like this. We can start like that, but as you can see, it's too smooth. This is not what we want. But every time you add more information, like a loop cut is called, we can try it now. If we press ctrl+r, you can see we get a new line here with more vertices. So if we left click, we can drag it over here as close as we want. You can see the edge gets harder and harder, but we can put it here, and then we can also add another one up here. And if we scroll around, yeah, I want to fix this shape in the front. But right now it's hard to see without any gloss, but we can easily fix this. So we have different shading modes. So we have render preview, we have material preview, and we have this display in solid mode. But if we press down on this drop down menu and choose Matcap and press on this, we can choose a shiny material. I used to choose this one because it's really helpful. So let's take this and let's exit X-ray mode and see what do we have. Okay, this is starting to look like a sharp edge, but we want it even sharper. So let's select the object and enter edit mode, and then press Alt and left click on this edge, and it will select all of the edge. So let's press Shift+E to sharpen the edge, and if you just now drag, you can see the value up here. If you pull this to 1, we will get a really hard edge, and we want this to, and I do the same here. Alt left click, Shift+E, drag, and if now you can see we have a really hard edge, and the shape is a little more up here than on the side, but since this is a cartoon car, I don't mind. But I want this edge to be hard, so Shift+E, drag it. Yes, something like this. Great. But now I want to fix the front of the grill, and I want it to be more I want it to have another shape. So, and then we can select our vertices, and if I press G 2 times, so G, I can drag this in along the edge. It's called edge slide. So something like this, and I want to move this, and this I don't want to edge slide, so I can just press G and move it how I want, and I want to select these 4 and move them in. So G X to be sure is move only in the X direction. Great. But I want this edge to be much harder. Is to add another loop cut. So let's press ctrl+R and drag it down or up depending how we want it to look, and I think this will look fine. And then the loop cut will go all the way back also. Okay, let's look from the front. Press Alt+Z to enter X-ray mode, and I actually want to drag this down a little bit. So I drag and select these vertices and press G and Z to drag them in the Z axis, and we can actually move these in a little bit, I think. So G and X, and I think I can select them and drag them up and around, something like that. Great, so this will be my grill. We can just close it off. So let's select Alt left click, and we can press Alt left click here, and then E, S down a little bit, just like that, and then E, Y, drag it in a little bit like that, and then E, S, whoops. Let's close this, and we can drag this GG to get an easier work area. So we can just press F, and we can add a couple of loop. I think we need 3. So if we now select these two, so F, 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 F. Great. But it's too round in here, so Alt+z and select this, so Shift+E and drag to get the sharper edge there. So Alt+z, yeah, it looks great. And let's close off the body in the end as well. And I think we should add another loop cut for the body. And the way I do this is ctrl+r and then scrolling on the scroll wheel on the mouse. So let's add 5. Great. So let's select all of these vertices. Then EZ, and then GY, dragging it out, and ES, GY. And I want to scale it, scale in X. Yeah, and we can actually GX, move it even more inwards, and now we can move this. We can start GG, edge slide it up here, XX, GG, I mean, edge slide it up here, and GG, edge slide it up here, and now it's starting to look like some nice rear for this car. So GG. So if you select this, F, and now we need to do some math. So 1, 2, 3 loop cuts should do this. So ctrl+R and scroll 1, 2, 3 like that. Great. And right click to apply, and then select these and F, and select these two, F, 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 and it's done. Yeah, I think the body is starting to turn out great. Save. So now I want to do a place to sit. So let's press tab to enter edit mode again, and let's look upon this. Okay, so what do we have to work with here? I think I want to delete, let's press number 3 to only select faces. I think I want to delete these 4 at least. I think I want to delete these instead, these 6. Okay, so X, delete faces, and now I want to start moving stuff here. So let's select these two, GG down, select these, GG down, and I want this part to be kind of straight, so GG just a little bit, and this one, GG, starting to create a shape here. And you can move this how you like, and here I want to have a more round shape for the window, so GG, and let's, yeah, something like that. Great. So let's Alt left click, and here I want to add some kind of nice border, so ES like that, and then ES, and then actually I want to Alt left click here, and here now we can press Ctrl+B to bevel, and when I now drag we can get something like this. Great. And I want to pull this up, so G, Z, drag it up. Yeah, that looks great. and we can select this line, Alt left click, and let's Alt+z. I want these two as well, and these two as well. Press Shift+E, drag, let's press it 1. Yeah, it looks great. And now left click here and press E and Z and drag it down. But I want somewhere to sit, so, and I want this to be in line, so let's press S for scale, and I want to scale in Z, and I want to make a straight line in the same plane, so let's press 0. Great, left click and press G to move this down, and Z, drag it down. I think the shares should start here. Yeah, and I think we should scale everything inwards a little bit. So S, yep, something like that. And now we can activate this one. It auto vertices when they get too close. That's nice. And I want the share to be here, so let's press E, X, and drag it like that. This one, oops, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and press F. Great, and we have a share. And now we want to continue working downwards here, and I want Alt left click, and I want to continue down, so E, Z, and let's scale it inwards like that. Yeah, so if you select these two and press F, and then select these two and press F, and we have a floor. Great, so Alt+z, and we have a complete body. Okay, we need some details and wheels, but for now I think we should start coloring this. So if you go to the viewport shading type, that is material preview, that you can read there. Right now it's just white, and we want to change this. So if we have selected the object, and we can now name it to car body. So if you go down here to the material properties, left click, and let's click here where it says new to create a new material. Let's call this red car paint, and we want to change the base color to something red. I want it a little more dark like that, and I want it more shiny, and then you change the value for roughness. So if you drag it down to 0, it's come like a mirror, and up it's no shininess at all, and we want it somewhere between, so maybe here. Great, and we will work with the lighting and stuff like that later on. But we want to add another material to this part, and to do that you need to press the plus like this and add a new material. We want to call this one steel. Great, and we want it to be a little bit gray, and we want it to be metallic. And to apply another material to an object, you need to go to edit mode, and now you need to select the faces or vertices that you want to color. So if you look upon a car from the side and enter X-ray mode, and I want to select this part in the front like this, and then I set assign. Yeah, and I think that worked out really well. But I also want some kind of brown leathery material here, so let's add another one. So go to the plus, new, brown leather, and we can actually start out by selecting the parts we want to be the leather. So there's several ways to do this. So we can press number 3 to only select faces, and we go Alt left click, and then Alt left click, Alt left click, and I want Alt left click and Alt and then we can actually press Alt+z, and then we want to press C to circle select. We just paint over the areas you want to select and right click, and now we can assign this new material. And this is not correct. We can exit edit mode actually, and now we can fix this brown leather. There is a whole world to fixing great materials, but we only will scratch the surface. So something like that. And I want it a little more shininess, like that. Yeah, great. Thanks for watching this part 1 of the cartoon car. And next part we will continue with the wheels and fenders and maybe some details. Bye.